Are you one of them or one of those? Do you consider yourself an old school photographer, or are you more of a contemporary photographer? Where do you see yourself? What is it about past photographers that set them apart from so many today? With all the current technological advances, shouldn't today's photographers be far superior to past generations? Let's find out. With virtually unlimited information at their fingertips and access to the most advanced tools of the trade, the average photographer today is more informed and better equipped than anyone before them. But does that mean there are better photographers? Maybe. But where there's a gain, occasionally there's also a loss. But it isn't about who's better. It's about understanding the differences between generations. Let's be honest. We hear it all the time. Back in my day, everything was better. We were tougher. Today's generation just doesn't get it. Blah, blah, blah. No doubt, some things were better, and some things were far worse. However, every generation tends to believe it's better than the previous generation. But are the good old days better than the present? We all have flawed memories of better times. As Steven Pinker put it, nothing is more responsible for the good old days than a bad memory. I try to keep that in mind. It helps me keep my perspective. I'm no exception to the rule. Where do I see myself in this generational divergence? Am I an old school photographer or am I a contemporary photographer? Indeed, I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm not a boomer, and I'm certainly not a millennial. I fall in the Generation X category. We seem to have a fondness for categories. They appeal to the human need to organize everything. But being in a category doesn't mean we're locked into some predetermined destiny. Nevertheless, we've all been indoctrinated by the social norms and the beliefs of our generations. Like it or not, much of that programming is responsible for who we are today. And when I think about it, I caught the tail end of the boomers in the beginning of Generation X. And I guess I'm kind of the product of both generations. Still, we see many young people today turning to film, not only shooting film, but also developing at home. Many are even shooting large format. Look, I'm going to stray off course here for just a moment. Stick with me. Of the few negative comments I've received on this channel, and honestly, they're pretty rare. The most common one, by far, is someone asking why I still shoot film, often comparing film to some obsolete object or something like a horse and buggy or a steam engine. I mean, give me a break. I don't care if film is obsolete. I enjoy it. And honestly, my only regret is having ever put down my film camera in the first place. And nowadays, with resources like eBay, today's photographers have access to a variety of tools and materials like never before, with tons of information at their fingertips to learn how to use it. Look, forget about owning a set of encyclopedias or making a trip to the library. Almost anything you want to know is accessible in mere seconds, right from the smartphone in your hip pocket. So yes, today's photographers, they are better and better informed, armed with information gained from both the successes and failures of many generations. This is exactly why we're seeing the growing popularity in film photography. And hey, as I always say, it doesn't have to be one or the other. I love shooting digital. Everything has its place and use. Regardless, we're all shaped by our generational upbringing. And there are some pretty major differences in the way we see the world, which includes photography. For example, perception of time is very different between generational gaps. Millennials and Gen Z, they had far more access to information in their rearing compared to boomers and Gen X. And we wonder why recent generations pursue instant gratification. We fed it to them. And this has certainly contributed to the way different generations view and practice photography. Many of today's photographers are driven by quick results versus a more gradual, deliberate process. Back in the day, film was slow by necessity, and it had to be slow. Film had limits. Developing took more time, certainly when compared to viewing one's image on a smartphone the moment after it's captured. I mean, that's just ridiculous. With film, there was a cost associated with every shot. The process forced intention by necessity. Today, we can shoot hundreds of frames, just mere minutes. Look at the back of your camera and make adjustments on the fly. No waiting on film to develop or test strips in the darkroom. I mean, when you think about it, there's just no doubt about it at all. Digital is king when it comes to speed. It wins. But it can also dilute that every frame matters mindset. When looking over my portfolio, it's not the number of photographs that catches my eye. It's the few well-composed images that stand out. I would much rather hike 2 miles with a heavy pack and an old 35mm film camera take one exposure, one well-planned and thought-out exposure, one that I'm truly happy with, compared to snapping a couple of hundred mundane images. It's patience, born out of necessity, that sets past photographers apart. The deliberate, slow process of analog photography helped shape artists like Ansel Adams into masters of their craft. In the past, things were harder to come by. Your average photographer, they didn't own 2 or 3 cameras. They didn't have a dark room for printing. To see their results, film had to be developed and printed. Nowadays, it's a mere glance at your smartphone. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Today's photographers have many more options and resources. Photographers like Ansel Adams spent days crafting a single image. Ansel wasn't, rushing to upload images to Instagram to keep up with the latest trends. Back then, his images carried a lot of weight because there were just far fewer of them. Now we live in an era with infinite images, just billions being uploaded daily. The challenge isn't taking a photograph, it's making one that stands out. Talk about the scarcity of materials. Yesteryear's photographers had to have an adept understanding of exposure, chemistry, printing. They had to make do with the materials they had. Compared to today's mostly digital world, photography was a physical process and very much hands-on. Today, I don't think people realize just how much of the process we've automated. Cameras and smartphones do most of the work nowadays, and most of the thinking as well. We've developed software that completely replaced much of the hands-on aspect of photography. Mixing chemicals, working with negatives, printing in the darkroom. I get it from the standpoint of convenience. Why would anyone want to go back to that? And certainly when the end result is arguably better with digital. And I'm not advocating for going back, but that's what separates past photographers from today. Talk about back in the day. One could argue that the sheer complexity and difficulty of photography is the main reason so few practiced it. Today, the barrier for entry, it's lower, but so are the requirements for technical mastery. Photographs used to be made to last. Prints, books, galleries. Now many images are made for quick consumption. Instagram thumbnails. It's the scroll culture. People are becoming used to sucking in large quantities of information at a rapid pace. Just think about the time and effort that Ansel Adams put into some of his photographs. What if he were uploading to Instagram today? How would they measure up against the billions of other images that are out there floating around in cyberspace? In the past, people bought books to see the works of others. Getting your work seen meant galleries, publishers, and magazines. Of course, we can still visit a gallery today, but why travel to a gallery when you can view someone's work online from the comfort of your own home? For most people uploading today, your image might be seen for a second or two, then quickly forgotten. And that's if you're lucky, of course. Photographs from the past, they used to be seen as the truth, or dare I say, real, despite darkroom manipulation. Albeit, the ability to alter images has been around for decades, but not at today's level of manipulation. Darkroom editing was very limited, certainly when compared to even the most basic editing capabilities of Photoshop. And with AI on the rise, the lines are becoming even more blurred between documentation and creation. A photo can be less about what was and more about what the photographer wants it to feel like. Regardless, photographers have been manipulating images for decades to create a certain mood. And I think that's fine, but the level of manipulation found in today's photography is it's unprecedented. And I'm pretty confident in saying this, but most of us viewing images today, I'm pretty sure we view them with a healthy dose of skepticism, certainly when compared to the photographs of yesteryears. So, back to my original question, are you one of them or one of those? Like it or not, we're all products of our time. As a descendant from the boomers and a contributor to the millennials, I've been honed by the lessons and experiences, both good and bad, of many generations. It's not that everything in the past was better, it's what you take from the past to make the present and the future better. Applying the lessons learned from previous generations is what life's all about, which is why many photographers are moving backwards, on purpose, back to film, slower workflows, and tactile processes, because that's what many of us have been missing. Now, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and consider subscribing. And for more on film photography and why it's so much fun, watch this video right here. I'll see you on the trail.